Hi everyone, my name is Ehsan, and in this video I'm going to talk about the ethical guidelines for publishing research papers. And if we go through the list of the videos that I have created so far, this is video number 30. When it comes to the ethical for publishing a research paper, the very first word that you hear a lot is plagiarism. Plagiarism is simply just using someone else's idea, results, or even wording without giving that person or the paper or the book or the website all these kind of references that we can use in a research paper without giving these kind of references the appropriate credit. That is a simple definition of plagiarism. I'm here showing you one example. So this person that we have in this paper on the right, let me zoom in, has used the results that he got from the research lab that he was working in during his PhD. And then he graduated, went to another university, did a postdoc, and then he used those data to publish a paper. And then the PI figured it out and, contacted this journal and retracted the paper. This is also some kind of plagiarism. So before doing any publication, you have to make sure that's yours, your idea, your wording, your research. And simply when you use someone else's idea or someone else's work, you have to cite that. So here I'm showing you, we have talked about this before. So in this introduction, this very first sentence, we have put one here, and there are two papers cited for that very first sentence. That is simply a citation. So I'm giving the credit for generating this sentence to these two, but you shouldn't use the exact wording that they are using, because that is also a plagiarism. Here I'm showing you one example. Let's say you found a paper, and in that paper, this is the original sentence, and you want to use that in your own paper and cite that paper. So let's say we are going to cite it like this. So we are going to say almost the same wording that they have used, and we put the proper citation. This is a plagiarism, because if you look at the sentence, most of the wording is similar to what you see on the top. So this is a plagiarism, and they have softwares that will detect that. So you shouldn't do that. The one below it is probably not plagiarism, because most of the wording has changed. Now I'm showing you another example. Let's say that the one on the top is one sentence in a journal, and you want to use that and cite it. So you are going to use the one in the middle, but this is still kind of plagiarism, because as you can see, there are some paraphrases that they have used, but still the majority of wording is the same. But the one in the last sentence is probably not plagiarism. So you got the idea. You can use other people's sentences if you want to refer to them and properly cite them. That's the first thing, you have to cite them. But also you shouldn't just do a simple copy paste, and the paraphrasing should be right. That I showed you two examples. The other thing is, people might have this question that, can I take a paper out of my thesis? The answer is yes, most of the people do, but you should not be the corresponding author for that, because the idea, the funding, the research has been done in someone else's lab. So just the first example that I showed you, you can't do that on your own. You have been part of a research lab and you did that. But yes, most of the papers comes from the thesis. The other thing is, you might have already published a paper, and you are gonna go and take some of the wordings or sentences from that paper that you owned and you published and use it in the new paper. This is also plagiarism. People call it self-plagiarism. This is not also allowed. So you shouldn't do that. And the journals have some software that even in this age of the AI, they are getting even smarter, and they are able to detect, even if you do a paraphrasing, they are able to detect how much you have paraphrased it. And as soon as you submit your paper or the manuscript to that journal, the office of that journal, they already have these data, because as you submit it, this data gets generated. How much of your wording is similar to your own previous papers? How much is similar to what you have copied from a website or a journal, even with paraphrasing? It's going to show them some percentages. And not just that, they are going to see some other metrics, like how many of the references are your own papers. So they are getting smart, and they are going to give some key metrics to the office, and they can decide whether they have to pass that to the editor or not. So be very careful when you do that. And you might have this question that what happens if I do plagiarism? Different journals might have different policies, but what I have seen, if you do that, the first time it might be just a rejection or a warning or something like that. Some journals might even put you on the blacklist, so you are not able to submit any research paper to those journals. They might also get escalated to the whole publishing house, so each publisher might have different journals, so they might put you on that list, so you are not able to publish anything in any journals under that umbrella of that publisher. So yeah, something like that. Not just you, everyone else that is part of that research, they are going to put the name of all the people. So just keep that in mind. And sometimes people do data manipulation, basically changing something so it looks nice, it looks better, it fits into their research. And this is not ethical. And here I'm showing you a few examples. So on the left here, you see there are two images, NMR spectrum, and below is the original spectrum, and on the top is the manipulated image. So you can see the solvent signals has been removed. So here you don't see them over here anymore, and they have cut it from here. So it looks nicer because they have removed some impurities. The better way is to show the original image, put the asterisk, and then just say this is impurity or this is the solvent. And if it doesn't look good, you can repeat the experiment, get a better NMR. And here I'm showing you another example. So on the left, you see the original image, and on the right is the manipulated image. So they have removed this line over here. It looks nicer, fits into their research. So this is not ethical. Don't manipulate any data, any figure. Don't Photoshop anything because it's just not ethical. And people that read that paper, they are gonna just trust on the data you provided, and they are gonna build on top of that. So this is gonna be the step for the next research. And if this is wrong, the next research would be also wrong. So they are not able to reproduce what you have done. So just don't do that. The other thing is some people do a research and then they are going to cut it into some small pieces and publish each piece as one paper. Here I'm showing you as like a watermelon. If you go to our own example, we had a bicolored apple, and then we did some studies on this. So we went to 6 different things and we explained that. Just assume we are going to take 2 of them and publish it as like a separate paper. So instead of 1 comprehensive research paper, now we are going to have 3, but we just cut it to few pieces. So this is not a good idea. It's better to publish the whole study that you have done as one paper. And the other thing that is not ethical is submitting your manuscript to multiple journals and thinking this way I'm going to save my time. This is just waste of the resources, waste of the time of those editors and reviewers on different journals, and it's not ethical. And you also need to tell the journal that you submit your paper or the manuscript that you haven't submitted that manuscript to other journals. So don't do that. Just, you know, send it to one journal. If it got rejected, then you can send it to another one. Or if you send it to a journal and it took, you know, a few months, or you're not happy with the process, you can withdraw your manuscript, and then when you got the green light, you can send it to another journal. So this is the right way of doing it. So I have talked about this before, but I just thought it's worth it to say it in this video as well. So here I'm showing you 3 examples. In each example, I just show you the original sentence, and I have written your sentence, but this is what we want to write in our paper. And I just want to know, what do you guess whether this is plagiarism or not? So here is the example number 1. And here is example number 2. You can take a screenshot or pause the video and read it. And this is example number 3. Again, you can pause the video or read it. And once you know the answers, I just want you to write your best guess in the comment section. And with that, we are at the end of this video. In the next video, I'm gonna, you know, wrap up the research paper course section that we had here, and see you in the next one.